for 15 months. He chose Prague and the Czech Republic to launch history. And since then, he's made his way across Central Europe, North Africa, the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, and New Zealand. The show billed as the biggest musical roller coaster of all time. 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, and Michael leaves New Zealand on board a commercial aircraft bound for Australia. At about the same time, a dedicated group of his fans are assembling at a side gate at Sydney Airport, awaiting his arrival.
Same as all the Channel 9 crew, so we're pretty sure it's this gate.
5 o'clock Air New Zealand. The car will be coming through here and then he's going directly to the Sheraton on the park. How's that?
Everyone else we think is going to the hotel at the Sheraton because they don't know where it is, but we're pretty sure it's going to be here.
As time ticks by, more of the media arrive, and with the appearance of several dozen security guards, it was apparent that Michael was not far away.
Watch the car, watch the car. Watch the car. Did you get the talk to him?
And then for Michael, it was off to the hotel. And for the fans, a scramble into waiting taxis.
Where you going?
This time it was really him, and the crowd surged forward. Jackson emerged complete with his trademark surgical mask. It was hard to get a glimpse through all those balloons and broad-shouldered bodyguards. An Aboriginal dance troupe showed Jackson some moves. Michael was dancing on the inside, moving just his neck. Okay, cue the rehearsed spontaneous cheering. He received some ceremonial garb, and then a song from the kiddies at Redfern School. Michael was whisked inside, leaving his fans still in a frenzy.
Spread of an impending wedding, Jackson returned to his hotel from his first Australian concert.
Michael, is it true you plan on getting married? Are you getting married? When's he getting married? Is that true?
Is it true he's getting married?
There's been speculation for days Jackson was planning to marry his pregnant girlfriend, Debbie Rowe. After last night's concert, the rumours appear to have become fact. His production company in the United States confirming the marriage in a brief press release.
It was supposed to be a film clip premiere, but thousands of fans and a swarm of media were there for another unveiling, the first public appearance of the new Mr. and Mrs. Jackson. But they were disappointed, Jackson again escorting a young friend. While Australian celebrities joined in the Jacko fever sweeping Sydney, inside, Wacko Jacko revealed his latest film clip, Ghosts. Earlier tonight, Jackson was mobbed as he left his hotel. Police forced to pull frenzied fans off his car. All this for a quick trip to Taronga Park Zoo to see some cuddly koalas. Jackson caught the world by surprise last night, marrying in a midnight ceremony inside his luxurious Sydney hotel. There was no hint of the night ahead as he wowed the crowds at the first concert of his Australian tour. His new bride is expected to accompany him for the remainder of his concerts here, but he's asked for privacy, and so far he's managed to keep his wife out of the media glare. Sonia Wilkes, 7 Nightly News.
When the King of Pop makes one of his rare public appearances, his loyal subjects hang on his every word, follow his every movement. As Michael Jackson arrived at the Sydney Opera House, the heavens threatened to open as more than 10,000 fans screamed. Jackson's record company rewarded its biggest selling artist with a special presentation. An 8-metre statue flown in from Prague was towed into Sydney Harbour, and a series of framed awards. Jackson's record sales have already topped $75 million. With a slight giggle, he told the assembled crowd he was full of sorrow at the prospect of leaving Sydney.
I want you to know I love each and every one of you very much.
The crowd surged towards its hero, crushing many young fans. Several had to be rescued and treated for minor injuries. Despite Jackson's brief appearance, he made a lasting impression.
Michael was completely blown away with today. He really loved this.
Jackson then went to the Prince of Wales Hospital to spread his own special brand of hope and joy to the young patients. He now heads to Brisbane for the second leg of his tour. Michael Reid, 10 News.
His own child in February, Michael Jackson today described this as the highlight of his Australian tour so far.
This is for you.
Thank you.
I'll sign a picture for you, too.
At the Sydney Children's Hospital, Jackson played Father Christmas a month early. Again, no sign of his new bride, the performer spending 2 hours inside, given special visiting rights to gravely ill children in the cancer ward.
Can we get something for her, a toy?
The self-styled champion of children dished out thousands of dollars in presents, dolls, toys and computer games. Jackson taking time to play. The gifts for some outsizing the patients.
How do you spell your name?
B-A-N.
But while it was here the softly spoken star seemed most comfortable, his real performance was at the Opera House.
The pop superstar arrived in Brisbane a day late because he refuses to fly in bad weather. Jacko appeared unmasked for his northern arrival, but upset some of his fans when his car drove past.
He said he'd come here and meet his fans. Like he did in Sydney. In Sydney, why couldn't he just do it here?
Inside, Jackson enjoyed an official welcome from the Bjelke-Petersen Talent School.
What did you think of that reception?
Wonderful.
Well, Michael Jackson's circus hit town. It wasn't quite the same sort of entrance as a presidential-style one with President Clinton, Mr. Jackson's countrymen, but nevertheless his fans made sure it was a rock star reception fit for the self-styled king of pop. He arrived about half an hour late from Brisbane in a private jet chartered a 767 and then strolled casually along the tarmac, his fans there inside the terminal behind reinforced glass. Jackson strolled over, had a chat to some of the ground crew and shook hands, dressed in a very vivid red jacket with an aqua sort of, I don't know quite what you call it, a stripe down the middle, I guess, and he wasn't wearing his famous black mask, so his fans got quite a good look at him as he strolled a few metres across to his van. He also met a few young children. Young children have been a continuing theme of his arrivals in Australia, kissed each one on the head and then wandered over to his van. So his fans got quite a good look at him as he strolled along the tarmac.
And Bernadette, were there photographers, some from overseas, some following the tour, waited at the Grand Hyatt for Jackson's arrival.
Who do we want? Michael Jackson!
Then a traditional welcome and a gesture symbolising peace. Another meeting with sick children before Jackson slipped away to his suite, starting another round of cat and mouse with the paparazzi and a waiting game for fans.
We're going to sleep in the car till we meet him.
Jackson's MCG performances on Friday and Sunday will each draw 45,000 people. 150 tonnes of equipment will be brought into the ground tomorrow morning.
An awesome reception down at Perth International Airport this afternoon for Michael Jackson and his entourage. There were incredible scenes as he got off the plane. Fans went absolutely ballistic. The screaming was just deafening. And there to meet him first and foremost was an Aboriginal dance troupe. I hope you can see them now. They were just fantastic, and I think even Michael was in awe of their dancing, and particularly the young ones as well. He went over and greeted them. They gave him a boomerang and some gum leaf, which he waved at the crowd. They also gave him a didgeridoo, which he was particularly pleased to get. Then he went over and met the rest of the crowd. Fans were probably quite staggered that he came so close to them, I think. He even shook hands with some of them, let them touch his hand. really was one of the best meet and greets you could have of one of your modern-day idols. He even picked up some of the younger Aboriginal dancers, gave them a hug.
Michael came over and easily accepted. There's also a person onto the side with a baby Joey. As you can see, autograph hunters are straining. Security men have never looked so nervous in their life, as far as I can tell. It's just absolutely pandemonium, and the feeling is electric, and it's certainly what the crowd has waited for all day.
There are so many kids. Are there a lot of police there?
Yes, indeed. There are police lining the streets right back to where BP is on the opposite corner, further up a West Coast highway. It really is. As you can see, they're pushing against the crowd, trying to keep them away. But Michael seems very unrelaxed. His mask is back on, of course. He's blowing kisses, signing autographs. He's having a ball, although the wind, I think, will play havoc with his hat very shortly.
Joe, is there any sign of the international media in the light of those divorce reports today?
Well, his personal camera crew are here filming. At the moment, there's no other cameras other than us here at the moment. But apparently a huge cavalcade has travelled with him on this Australian tour. And there's a little chap having a dance now, giving him an impression of his own moonwalking.
Well, thanks very much for that, Joe. It looks like an exciting time for a lot of kids down at Scarborough.
It's a highlight of my life. Thank you. He didn't, but he certainly watched them doing it. He collected so many cards, so many flowers, but I think the crowd got exactly what they came here for, a piece of Michael, and I'm sure they all have tickets to the sellout concert this weekend. That's all from me. Back to you in the studio.
Glad your head's up.
Then he appeared, mid-afternoon, and into the wagon for his first real look at Perth, the city he took by storm late yesterday. For one fan, in that writhing mass outside the Radisson last night, the gates of heaven were suddenly flung open.